Hello everyone, this is Kaybenyarko again. Thank you guys for viewing and thanks for subscribing. I'm going to be teaching you guys today the difference between Barry Harris's bar note approach and his block chord approach. For my prior exercise video, I believe some of the subscribers were a little confused by my application because it sounded right, but they couldn't actually see it, and they were asking me about the borrowed notes. And the application I use most often was the one used by George Sharon, which uses the octaves C, major 6, and D diminished, and that's the locked hand chord approach. I like using that because it gives the song a fuller sound, like the sound of a sax section almost. Okay, so let's play the Barry Harris chords in the key of C with the locked hand approach. Okay. For those who are new to this, again, I would recommend watching my prior videos. Also, for this lesson, to use a reference video, I would recommend watching one of Barry Harris's own videos, which is it's entitled Jazz Theory with Barry Harris. He teaches the great pianist Eli Yemen about his borrowed notes approach. To understand this approach, you have to understand how he came to it. So he does this thing where he explains it. He takes kind of a Christian creation story approach and explains it. So he has a story he tells. So he says in the beginning, and the Christians who watch this might, like this. So at the beginning there was the chromatic scale. So there was chaos, right? You have 12 disciples, right? Also, okay. And then God came and he made man and woman, right? So he says, what is the man and woman? So if you take the 12 chromatic tones, starting from C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, you have two whole tone scales in that. And that's the man and woman. We have the C whole tone scale, and the C sharp whole tone scale. Okay? And he says man and woman came from the 12 chromatic. He also says these two whole tone scales have two chords in them. We have a C sharp, a C dominant chord with the altered fifth, all right? And you could do that same thing for the C sharp, a C sharp dominant with the altered fifth. Okay, so he says man and woman had kids. They had three kids. They had the C diminished. They had a C sharp diminished and a D diminished. Okay, again, C sharp and then D. So C diminished, C sharp, and D. Now he said these three kids also had kids, right? And that's how the body grows, right? The body of Christianity grows from Adam and Eve. So what are those? So if you take C sharp C diminished, I'm sorry. Every time you take one finger and move it back a half step, guess what? You get a dominant chord. So that becomes a B dominant. If I do the index finger, that becomes a D dominant, right? C, D, F, and A. If I do the middle finger, that becomes an F dominant, right? Second inversion. If I do the A, that becomes an A flat dominant, first inversion, right? So, in the video, he uses this example in the key of E to show you how he uses borrowed chords, borrowed notes. And he says you can, when you're improvising, you can run C to A and E flat to F sharp. I'll show you guys that in another video. Someone asked him how he knows the diminished chords came from the two whole tone scales. And he says, if you look at even C diminished, okay, the C and the F sharp belong to what? The C whole tone scale. And the E flat and the A belongs to the C sharp whole tone scale. So they definitely came from the man and woman. So let's use this example in the key of E. In the key of E, the 2-5-1 is F minor 7, root position. 5 would be B7, and 1 would be E major 7. Okay? So let's take the C diminished, right? Since the 5, we're going to use C diminished because we know that the 5 of the E is a B, right? And we know that if we move our thumb a half step below, we get a B. Another cool thing about the diminished is if you move your thumb or any finger a whole step, you get a minor 6 chord. So here I get a dominant chord. If I move it here, I get a minor 6 chord. What minor 6 is this? It's an F sharp minor 6, right? We have the C sharp, the 6, the 1, and the minor, right? So let's do the 2-5-1 using the borrowed notes from the C diminished. So we want to get to the, we're doing the F sharp minor 6 first, right? You can voice it like this because we want to get to the B. Okay? So you can do it like this with borrowed notes. Okay? Then and you hear that in Barry's playing. Okay, again. Let's do that again. To the B. Okay, so all I did there is use borrowed notes from the C diminished. Why I use C diminished? Because I know if I move my finger from the thumb down, I get a B flat. I get a B7, and I know a B7 is the 5 of the E. If I also move it forward, I get a F sharp minor 6. So I already have the 2 and the 5 there, so I can use borrowed notes on the C diminished. Okay, that's how it works. Again, this is how it sounds. If I did the same thing in C to make it a little easier, okay, let's transpose those notes. So here we have 5, 6, 1, and minor, right? So transpose it. Now we're doing 2-5-1 in C. So that's D minor, C7, C major. So again, 5, 6, D, and the minor. So that's a D minor 6. So we're looking for a G. You can, right? And then you can transpose it to the to the C major. Again, this is how it sounds in the key of C. Okay? Remember that I'm going from, and I'm borrowing notes from the D diminished, right? Okay, and I know that if I move my thumb here, I get a D minor 6, right? And if I move my thumb here, I get a G7. So this is how it sounds again. Okay? Okay, to the G. Okay, and then to the C. Alright? Okay. So that is how he thinks about borrowed notes. Again, this is an explanation of a different side of his approach. There's two. There's the block chords, and then there's the borrowed notes approach. Okay? Again, I'm doing it in E because in the example, and if you guys are looking for the example, again, it's Jazz Theory with Barry Harris. Try part 4, and the time is 3 minutes and 56 seconds. Okay, I'm gonna play that again. If you guys have any questions, it's Kaybenyarko@gmail.com. Email me. I'll be glad to answer all your questions. Stay tuned for more lessons, and thank you for subscribing.